Good evening, everybody. Hello, my name is Frankie Kington, known as a wise entrepreneur, and today we're going to talk about the positive signs and in your gut feeling. I'm joined here by my guest speaker and entrepreneur and my dear friend Roger Bertrand. That's the topic what we're going to talk about today. Roger, the positive signs in your gut feeling. Can you explain to me why that is?
That's a very good question. The positive sign. But you know what? I think sometimes we don't recognize our gut feelings. Yeah, I'll give you a quick example. You know, when I bought my car and then I decided whether to buy from a private person I knew or to buy a car from a garage. Okay. And in the end, I chose to go to the garage. Even though I had not been doing business with them before, and even though before going in there, I had a strange feeling in my guts. I don't know why, but I had those strange feelings. And then, as it happens, the car is good, but it cost me quite a bit of money because they wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to name the garage because it's not my place to do so. Okay, but it was very strange because I had a bizarre feeling, and then in the end, they tried to take some shortcuts about it. Some of the stuff I had to do and repair the car for, they couldn't have helped that anyway. But it was very bizarre, isn't it? Even before I entered the premises, okay, and even before I went there and speak to the people in charge, I had a bizarre feeling. I had a mixed feeling. It was very bizarre. And sometimes you can sense it when you go somewhere, you know whether you are going to do a business or whether it's going to be something different. It's very strange. And it was a mixed thing inside you. And so gut feeling, yeah. And then sometimes you have gut feeling about a job, you have gut feelings about whether they are going to get it, you have gut feelings about something you just met. It's more like our instinct, isn't it? That's the way I can see it. Now, because we are growing up in a civilized country, well, I hope so anyway. What do you mean by civilized? That could be the topic of another video. But I don't think many of those countries in the world are very civilized, to be honest. But that's another thing. So, but because we live in society, and I think sometimes it becomes difficult for us to read our gut feelings because we still have instinct because we are social animals. We come from the chimpanzee, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So we have ancestors who were animals.
Are
So
you
they
calling
had.
me a chimpanzee?
Pardon, say that again.
Calling me a chimpanzee?
Or whatever. Yeah, whoever. But what I'm trying to say is that our ancestors, they probably had a lot of feelings and senses. Like my cat, she can sense stuff. Yeah, and then her life, she directs her life using her senses and her feelings. And she has feelings. I can tell that there is no doubt about that. But we also have that. But it's not as acute as our animal, the animal kingdom, because we live in society and it's regimented in one way or another. So we tend to lose a bit of that. And then when we have some feelings, sometimes we get confused because we don't know how to read them.
So, in other words, Roger, gut feelings can be either positive or negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you got good gut feeling, so you know that, and sometimes it just happens. You know that something is going to be right for you, and then sometimes you are feeling. Then sometimes it's unclear. You don't know what the message is. Even when you play a game, if I can give that example, at the moment I am being obsessed with the game here on my obsessed, addicted. I will be honest with you. So I try to control it because it can take a lot of time. But it's a good brain game. It's called block space. Then you got to put them together, and it goes on the line like that. And then I saw when I was doing, and then uh, when I was doing one of the games, at some point I had some feeling I was going to do well. Well, for me, for some people, they probably, for them, it's probably be easy, because I've seen some of the score. It's just unbelievable. For me, what the level I am at is good for me. But I've noticed my average point is higher than it used to be. But not on that, when I started to get around £1,000 points, pound, that would be nice, 1,000 points or above, I could feel it was going to happen in that game, if you know what I mean. I had something in my belly who would tell me, yeah, I think you're going to do well in that game. And as it happens, I did well in that game. Does that make sense? So sometimes
Wow.
yeah, sometimes it happens like that. But well, for me and my level, because I'm sure those squares and in 9 or 6 or 4 or 2 going one way the other way, I'm sure they come in a sequence. So I'm sure some mathematicians, if they work out the sequence of it, they can get probably 10 or 1,000 of points on doing that. But I'm not going to spend my day doing that. So I use the brain. So it's good brain game, but at the same time, it's very addictive. So I've got to be careful, and then very careful. And then, but at the you know what I mean? Or when you play chess against somebody or another game, sometimes you feel something. Or even when I went into my table tennis matches, sometimes you know that on that night you are going to do well. You just know
So
it.
you just know. So your gut feelings tell you that you're going to do well. You can
Yeah,
feel it in your gut.
sometimes it does that to me. Sometimes, like when I went to a match sometime against a specific team, um, not always, it doesn't always happen, but sometimes, now and again, you know that night you're going to do well. That makes sense. Yeah. So you know sometimes. It's like France when they were like 10 points behind. I didn't think they were going that one, but the Welsh people made quite a few mistakes, so they didn't do themselves any favors. So anyway, but and they were very disciplined. First time I've seen the French team playing like that, very disciplined. And but sometimes those players, I'm sure they have gut feelings about something. They know that okay, they only 20 minutes left. We are 10 points behind, but we go for it. So maybe they had a gut feeling they could still win that game. That makes sense.
Of course, it makes sense. I feel gut feelings is really important to go with the gut feeling because it's a feeling that we have in our bodies when it starts, but it sometimes can affect our minds as well.
Absolutely.
And we
So
can
when I went to
become,
that garage, it was very strange because I did not even know them before I went there. Man, I had a mixed feeling about them even before I went in there. How would I know? Do you understand what I mean? So it's interesting. It's interesting that, yeah, and yeah, sometimes you just know, don't you?
so where does this gut feeling, Roger? Is it in your stomach? Is it round near your heart? Is it on your chest? Where do you experience this gut feeling? Where's the feeling and how long does it last for? What are the signs for us?
For me, it's in my belly. Yeah, it's not necessarily on the chest or anything like that. It's around my stomach. This is where, you know, this is where I can feel my emotions and things like that. Yeah, and then sometimes when I get my gut feeling about something about family or other things, uh, especially on the English side of it, but I'm not going to go into detail. I just want to say sometimes you feel something, you know you're right, and sometimes you just think it's a shame I was right, if you know what I mean. And because, well, you know what, I'm going to give my very brief experience on that. I lost my wife when, and she has a sister. I'm not going to name the sister or the sisters. And then I always had a feeling something was not quite right. I didn't want to believe it. And I'm not saying her sister didn't like Gwen, no, but I think they had in their mind, they are like a clique or something. You belong to the clique or you don't, if you know what I mean. So
Like
most,
fitting in. Who the cat fits, let them wear it.
yeah. So just to finish on that too, and then I had quite a bit of some feeling about that. Uh, when they invited us to different parties and all that, they were doing it more by obligation than by with a heart. And then they called themselves a Christian. I've got nothing against Christian, by all means, nothing at all. But you don't call yourself Christian if you don't act like one. And or ourselves, we practice Buddhism, But if we don't like as a Buddhist, what should we call ourselves Buddhist? It's the same thing, isn't it? So I'm not judging who's right or wrong. But what I'm saying, they did a lot of the stuff they did by obligation. I don't think she didn't like her sister, but maybe she felt embarrassed or something because they are their own little clique, if you know what I mean. And then I don't think Gwen fully belonged to that clique. So for example, I'll give you an example of that, which actually prove that was right. And then Jason had the same feeling. They did it by obligation. I said it all along. He said that. They even sent me a birthday card. They only did it when Gwen was alive last year. How hypocritical is that? I'm not bothered, but it's so hypocritical. How can you call yourself Christian and all that, and then do the good thing, the good deeds, and all the rest of it when they don't like they do? So I had feelings about that. And my friend, our friend from Morecambe, who's been a long life friend of Gwen, Sandy, she said that, well, obviously after Gwen passed away, because she didn't want to hurt a friend, a dearest friend. But she did say, I never thought she belonged there, even though even though she doesn't go with them out or have a drink or anything like that, because she lives in Morecambe and they live here, so she doesn't come very often. So she had a feeling, if you know what I mean. And then she was right, even though she didn't meet them. Yeah. So it's interesting. Or she might have met them once or twice, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. When we had our wedding, and me and Gwen and stuff like that. So she must have met them perhaps once or twice. But that's about it. But it was enough for her to know straight from the beginning. I mean, that's the feeling she. So it's very strange. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. It's you just know.
You just
And
know, and your gut tell you that you know.
yeah,
So your gut feeling for me is like a safety magnet. It's a safety to influence you to make yourself the wise or the right choice at a critical moment. Trust your gut instincts. Your gut instincts will save you a lot of pain, save you a lot of suffering, save you embarrassment sometimes, save you from making failures. Trust that gut instinct. And sometimes it's very powerful, because when you're going to do something, if you feel something your belly which says it isn't right, go with
yeah,
it. Always trust that gut instinct straight away. When something comes up and you feel it, bang, act on
yeah.
it straight away. Your gut instinct telling you not to do something. Gut
Or
instinct,
yeah, not to do something, or it tells you to do something. It
yeah,
can go both ways. And then when I had that mixed feelings when I went to the garage, yeah, I still went because about the car, but I still went, but I had a mixed gut feeling, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Somewhere I was quite at ease with them, but somewhere I wasn't. So it was a bit bizarre. It was a bit strange, if you know what I mean. Yes. So
Trust
yeah,
your gut feelings. Always trust your gut feelings. It can be
some of
positive, it can be negative, but it's telling you something. You need to act straight away
yeah,
and be
but
positive about what you act on.
yeah, it was telling me something. But to be honest, Frankie, I was not too sure what it was telling me. I had a bit of it was something a bit mixed. Yeah, and
Thank you,
yeah,
Roger. It's a
yeah, but
positive side than your gut feeling.
in the end, it turned out right. In the end, it turned out right. In the end, yeah, despite
Finish
that.
for
But
me then, Roger, on that, what we're talking about. Finish then. Gut feelings. What is it then, and why should we act on it?
once we act on it, because we must not forget, even though we are human beings and we live in society, and we have rules and regulation and laws to follow, but at the end of the day, we also come our ancestors, and then our ancestors uh, from the evolution system, and all that. So how can I put it? We have inherited from our ancestors. Put simply, that's what I'm trying to say. We have inherited instincts. So we still have instincts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. We still have instincts. Maybe not as powerful if we didn't live in a society like we have now, because obviously that probably fade away a little bit, but it's still there, isn't it? It's still with us. We cannot deny that.
Thank you, Roger. So trust your gut instincts. I say your gut instincts are being really aware of who you are as a person. Be really in touch with who you are. Your gut instincts are telling you something about a situation that you need to act on. Don't worry about the process, just act on it. You will always get the positive or the right outcome. So the positive signs are in your gut instinct. Go with it. And sometimes you feel it in your belly, sometimes it might be in your chest, but it could be tingling down your body. But trust that gut instinct and go with it. And you'll usually find it is the right decision for your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs, innerpreneurs, infopreneurs, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. I hope you find value in what we talked about today with me and Roger. Like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell for more notifications from my website. I'd love to hear your feedback. And remember, like me and Roger said, the positive signs and in your gut instinct. Trust always. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. My warmest wishes to you all. Thank you for watching. And me and Roger look forward to speaking to you again. I'm looking forward to your comments and feedback. Warmest wishes. Take care now. Bye bye.